Rivers around the world are drying up at an alarming rate. This is a clear warning sign of climate change. The World Meteorological Organization, or WMO, has released a report detailing the severe water crisis we are facing. Rising temperatures and altered weather patterns are to blame. The situation is dire and requires immediate attention. We depend on rivers for drinking water, agriculture, and industry. When rivers dry up, it creates a ripple effect. Communities suffer, ecosystems collapse, and economies falter. The WMO report provides stark evidence of this growing problem. It underscores the urgency of addressing climate change. The goal of this essay is to shed light on this pressing issue. We will explore the causes and consequences of river drying. We will also discuss what can be done to mitigate this crisis. It is crucial to understand the gravity of the situation and take action. Rivers such as the Amazon, Mississippi, and Mekong are drying at unprecedented rates. This is not just a regional problem, it is a global crisis. The Amazon River, for example, has seen dramatic reductions in water levels. This is due to deforestation and changing rainfall patterns. The Mississippi River has also experienced significant drops in water levels, affecting agriculture and transport. The Mekong River, which flows through several countries in Southeast Asia, is another example. Its water levels have been decreasing steadily. This impacts millions of people who rely on it for their livelihoods. The situation is exacerbated by dam construction and over-extraction of water. The WMO report highlights that these changes are linked to climate change. Rising temperatures lead to increased evaporation. Altered weather patterns disrupt rainfall distribution. This creates a vicious cycle, further reducing river flow. The consequences are far-reaching and require urgent action. Climate change is causing both droughts and floods. These extreme weather events have a direct impact on rivers. Droughts lead to reduced water flow and dry riverbeds. Floods, on the other hand, can lead to temporary surges in water levels, but often cause long-term damage to river ecosystems. Phenomena like La Niña and El Niño play a significant role in this. La Niña typically brings cooler and wetter conditions, while El Niño brings warmer and drier ones. These cycles affect weather patterns globally. They contribute to the unpredictability of river water levels. The WMO report indicates that these events are becoming more frequent and intense. This is a direct result of climate change. The increased frequency of droughts and floods makes it difficult for rivers to maintain a stable flow. This instability has severe implications for water security. Glaciers are crucial for maintaining river flow, especially during dry seasons. They act as natural reservoirs, slowly releasing water. However, glaciers around the world are melting at an alarming rate. This is due to rising global temperatures. The melting of glaciers directly impacts long-term water supply. For example, the Himalayas are often referred to as the water towers of Asia. They feed major rivers like the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Indus. The rapid melting of Himalayan glaciers poses a significant threat to these rivers. It affects millions of people who depend on them for water. The WMO report highlights that the loss of glaciers is one of the most visible impacts of climate change. It is a clear indicator of the long-term challenges we face. Without glaciers, many rivers will struggle to sustain their flow. This will exacerbate water scarcity and impact agriculture and drinking water supplies. Section 5. Water as a canary in the coal mine. Water is often referred to as the canary in the coal mine of climate change. This metaphor highlights the early warning signs that water shortages provide. Just as miners used canaries to detect dangerous gases, water scarcity signals broader environmental issues. It is an indicator of the health of our planet. The current water crisis is a stark warning. It shows that our climate is changing rapidly. If we ignore these signs, the consequences will be severe. Water shortages can lead to conflicts, mass migrations, and economic instability. They also threaten biodiversity and ecosystem health. The WMO report emphasizes that we must heed these warnings. Water scarcity is not a distant threat. It is happening now. Addressing it requires immediate action. We must reduce greenhouse gas emissions and implement sustainable water management practices. Section 6. The role of agriculture and industry. Agriculture and industry are major consumers of water. They play a significant role in the current water crisis. Irrigation for crops requires vast amounts of water. Industrial processes also consume large quantities. Together, they contribute to the depletion of river water levels. In many regions, water is over-extracted for agricultural use. This reduces the flow of rivers and impacts downstream communities. Industrial pollution further exacerbates the problem. Contaminated water is unfit for drinking or irrigation, leading to further scarcity. The WMO report calls for more efficient water use in agriculture and industry. This includes adopting technologies that reduce water consumption. It also involves better management practices to ensure sustainable use. Addressing these issues is crucial for mitigating the water crisis. Section 7. The human cost of water scarcity. Water scarcity has a profound impact on human communities. It affects access to drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene. In many parts of the world, people are already struggling with limited water supplies. This situation is expected to worsen with climate change. Women and children are often the most affected. They are typically responsible for collecting water in many cultures. Water scarcity forces them to travel longer distances, impacting their health and education. It also increases the risk of waterborne diseases. The WMO report highlights the need for equitable access to water. It calls for policies that prioritize vulnerable communities. Ensuring access to clean water is a fundamental human right. Addressing water scarcity is essential for improving health and reducing poverty. Section 8. Ecosystems and biodiversity at risk. Rivers are vital for maintaining ecosystems and biodiversity. They provide habitats for countless species. When rivers dry up, it disrupts these ecosystems. Fish populations decline and plant life suffers. This has a cascading effect on the entire food chain. Wetlands, which are often fed by rivers, are particularly at risk. They are among the most productive ecosystems on Earth. Wetlands support a diverse range of species, including birds, fish, and amphibians. The drying up of rivers threatens these critical habitats. The WMO report underscores the importance of protecting river ecosystems. It calls for conservation efforts to preserve biodiversity. This includes restoring natural river flows and protecting wetlands. Healthy ecosystems are essential for maintaining the balance of our planet. Section 9. Case study: the Colorado River. The Colorado River is a prime example of the current water crisis. It is one of the most heavily managed and diverted rivers in the world. The river supplies water to 7 U.S. states and Mexico. However, it is now facing severe water shortages. The Colorado River's flow has decreased significantly in recent years. This is due to a combination of over-extraction, drought, and climate change. The river no longer reaches the sea, impacting ecosystems and communities along its course. The WMO report highlights the Colorado River as a case study of what can happen when water resources are not managed sustainably. It calls for better water management practices and international cooperation. The lessons learned from the Colorado River can be applied to other rivers facing similar challenges. Section 10. What needs to be done? Addressing the water crisis requires global action. The WMO report outlines several recommendations. These include reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving water management practices. It also calls for better monitoring and international collaboration. One key recommendation is to invest in sustainable infrastructure. This includes building reservoirs and improving irrigation systems. It also involves developing technologies to reduce water consumption. These measures can help mitigate the impact of climate change on water resources. Another important action is to raise awareness. Educating the public about the water crisis is crucial. People need to understand the importance of conserving water. This can lead to more sustainable behaviors and policies. Section 11. Conclusion. The drying up of rivers is a clear warning sign of climate change. It is a crisis that affects us all. The WMO report provides compelling evidence of the urgent need for action. We must address the root causes of climate change and implement sustainable water management practices. The consequences of inaction are severe. Water scarcity threatens human health, ecosystems, and economies. It is a global crisis that requires immediate attention. By taking action now, we can mitigate the impact and ensure a sustainable future. In conclusion, the water crisis is a pressing issue that cannot be ignored. It is a clear indicator of the broader impacts of climate change. We must act now to protect our water resources and ensure a sustainable future for